Now, Central Illinois' most accurate forecast with meteorologist Seth Bohnhoff.
Well, we've kind of told you here over the last week or so that every day was going to bring us some pretty intense heat, some humidity, and also some isolated storms. We've started to dial up the coverage of some of those showers and storms, and you can see that on display really well here in Charleston. Nothing happening right there in the city, but you look off to the northwest, you can just see all that rain there in the distance. We've just got a few of those storms still kind of hanging out there right now. Let's look at our satellite and radar picture. We notice there's not a ton to look at other than out there closer to the Springfield area. We did have one storm move right through town there, and it did bring the rain down very briefly, but at a pretty intense clip. Also had some storms move through Mattoon and Charleston earlier in the day, but let's just kind of zoom in and see what we can right now. That one storm out there in Springfield has passed on through, but look how tiny this little dot is down there just to the northwest of Charleston there. So very isolated in nature, but obviously if you are in that area, you're getting quite the downpour here right now. This was a storm earlier in the afternoon, closer to about 1 o'clock or so. We had a 62-mile-an-hour gust there right at the airport between Mattoon and Charleston. So have had some pretty intense storms here at times. The thing is that intensity doesn't last very long whenever you don't have much of an organized setup. You can still kind of hit those peaks, but it's just not sustained for very long. So that's why we're kind of seeing that changing intensity here with some of those storms. The rain has cooled some places pretty well. Look over there in Springfield, 73 degrees. Not too far away in Decatur, though, it's still 90 degrees because the air has been very untouched out that way. In general, though, many of us have stayed cooler than what we were 24 hours ago. We're just kind of somewhere between 5 to 15 degrees cooler right now, or in Springfield's case, 19 degrees cooler than what we were at around 4:45 yesterday afternoon. Tonight, we'll see a few of those scattered storms kind of linger around into the first part of the night, but after that, we expect things to dry up pretty good. Still going to notice a couple of rain chances here into the weekend, but I think tomorrow looks to be a very dry day. I think any kind of plans you have outside, the only thing that will impact those plans is the heat. Still going to be 92 for a high tomorrow. Sunday, though, we will start to notice some showers and storms into the second half of the day, probably closer to the evening time, and that'll be the start of several days in a row where we notice those temperatures starting to fall a little bit, just upper 80s for your high by the time we make it on into Sunday. Future track through the night does keep the possibility of a couple of those storms kind of hanging around here and there. Not much expected out of those. They should be weakening the deeper into the night we go. And then by the time we get to tomorrow, maybe a couple of those isolated little pop-up storms. But aside from that, not really noticing too much going wrong with our forecast then. That rain chance Sunday, though, does leak over into Monday as well. That's where we see our best opportunity to see a few more showers and storms. Then after those systems pass, there's not a whole lot expected into the rest of the upcoming week, keeping things very dry around here. Let's take a look at future track. It does have an additional system moving on in there into Sunday. Cold front advancing in along with it, and we'll start to see those showers and storms wrap up Monday. And then after that, some much more manageable air is on the way, going to feel a lot more comfortable here. And then we're going to see a new pattern set up. We'll probably start to dial up the temperatures maybe just a little bit as we head on into July. New high pressure starting to leak on in, but this time we're kind of on the northeast side of that high pressure, which means temperatures won't be quite so bad, but we might notice those storm chances become a little more common. Take a look at this, though. Over the next 10 days, getting a lot closer to that average line than what we've been all week long here. So definitely some positive news as we start to get some much more variable temperatures to make their way this direction. But can't overemphasize enough to just kind of pay attention to what's going on around you during the day from one day to the next, because these storms, they're so isolated. But all of a sudden, if the skies start to get real dark, don't want to get yourself outside in that, because the lightning is pretty intense. The rain is really heavy. I've noticed a couple of times here just this week looking outside of my apartment, people walking in the park and the blue skies and the lightning moving on in. It's like, might
time to get inside.
Yep, but it's hard to know when that stuff's coming.
Yeah, what day was it set, or Kevin and Jacob were here, and all of a sudden downpour over Southwest Champaign?
That may have been Monday. I'm trying to think. I think it maybe was Monday or so.
That's
it was just
the perfect
right
definition
over
of one of these pop-up storms.
Isolated, but if you feel it, you feel it.
Definitely.